The Porsche Panamera. Is it a sports car? Is it a luxury sedan?
Yes, on both counts. Now in its second generation, the Porsche Panamera offers more of everything, which is good, but not without its complications.
Let's start with an unambiguous positive: style. Compared to the original Panamera, the second generation is longer, wider, and the roofline is lower in the rear, giving it a sleeker, more athletic profile.
Of course, this being Kelley Blue Book, we have to ruin the fun with practical considerations. A lower roofline means taller items may not fit in the cargo area, or at least not without some finagling.
Word to the wise, save the running stroller test fit until after the real head of the household approves your Panamera purchase.
Can you say Panamera? High five.
Dropping the 40-20-40 split folding seats expands the 17.4 cubic foot cargo area by a magnitude of 3, but for superior cargo hauling, consider the Panamera Sport Turismo. With a larger rear opening, slightly more cargo space, and an occasional use middle seat that raises passenger capacity to 5, the Sport Turismo is, to many eyes, the cooler looking Panamera. But back to the subject at hand.
Even with its sexy roofline, headroom is plentiful. I'm 5'10" with a long torso, and there is space between my hair and the headliner. And with the front seat set for my frame, legroom is decent.
If you want more than decent legroom, for roughly $10,000 extra, you can choose the 5.9-inch longer Panamera Executive that indulges with more rear seat legroom, along with a standard panoramic sunroof, rear sunshades, power-heated rear seats, and an adaptive air suspension.
Speaking of the optional adaptive air suspension, it's able to perform some pretty impressive magic. You can see large bumps on the road ahead, and by the time you get to them, the car basically glides over them. Small chattery imperfections are not as easily glossed over, but for a car this capable, ride quality is outstanding. To that end, let's enter this corner a bit too fast. Sharp, predictable steering and tick-like grip make the Panamera effortlessly quick through corners.
Supporting that rapid cornering is a cornucopia of optional initialisms. Let's see, there's PASM, a 3-mode active damping system, PDCC, whose electromechanical anti-roll bars keep the vehicle flat in corners, and PTV Plus, that can brake either rear tire and lock the rear differential to enhance agility and acceleration out of corners.
Even in basic form, the Panamera delivers driving thrills and a fine ride, but climb the technology ladder and its sport and touring abilities reach dazzling heights.
Where engines are concerned, the Panamera Turbo features a 4-liter twin-turbo V8, while the Panamera 4S utilizes a 2.9-liter twin-turbocharged V6. Given each model's prodigious power, Porsche wisely disperses their accelerative forces via a permanent all-wheel drive system. For the record, the 4S's low 4-second 0-60 sprints are only about half a second slower than the turbos, and it'll still do 180 miles per hour. Marking the entry into Panamera Dome is the base model that comes with a turbocharged 3-liter V6 and rear or optional all-wheel drive. And because we live in a modern world, there's also a plug-in Panamera E-Hybrid and flagship E-Hybrid Turbo S, the latter ranking as the most powerful Panamera yet. Jeepers, saving the planet is fun. Regardless of engine, all models feature an 8-speed PDK dual-clutch automatic transmission.
Providing fast, smooth gear changes and the direct throttle response you'd expect from a manual transmission, PDK deserves your respect. So say its name correctly, Mike.
Porsche Doppelganger Jankin Snoodle.
Yeah, close enough. Where thrust is concerned, the Panamera range is plenty capable, especially the turbo model. At the same time, the turbo's V8 functions like its name would imply. Floored? Real thrust.
That lag is surprising since the turbochargers sit adjacent to combustion chambers in the middle of the cylinder banks, but it really only appears when you suddenly mash the throttle. On that note, Sport Mode sharpens throttle response, among other vehicle settings, but for even quicker reactions, look to the Sport Chrono package, which adds an analog stopwatch and the steering wheel mounted knob to select between normal, sport, individual, and the action-packed Sport Plus drive modes, each offering distinct throttle, steering, transmission, and chassis behavior.
Placed in the middle of that knob is the Sport Response button, press it, and the Panamera prepares itself for maximum performance for 20 seconds. There's even a little countdown clock, and the spoiler pops out. Mash the throttle to unleash holy hell, or just pass Camrys. It's about as close to the Knight Rider turbo boost button as I have experienced. Oh, we got 5 seconds. And time.
I should mention the Sport Chrono package also adds launch control. Teamed with the Panamera Turbo's monster horsepower, it'll launch you from father to hero in about 3.5 seconds.
What did we say when we stopped? Launch control? More! Oh, that's fun.
The Panamera's toddler-ready cabin is composed of top-tier materials, a racy yet tasteful design, and, unlike the old Panamera, a near absence of physical buttons. Most vehicle controls are managed through touch-sensitive switches or by exploring the standard 12.3-inch multi-touch display.
The interface looks clean and modern and is controlled a lot like you would a smartphone, but it may not be intuitive for all operators. So for best results, explore and understand its complexities before you hit the road.
One interior complexity is the volume control. It's this roller, not the thing immediately next to it that looks like a volume knob. Another complexity is the center vent, which is controlled through the touchscreen. That might sound cool, but we'd rather not take our eyes off the road to aim the breeze. There's also only one bank of horizontal louvers, meaning both front occupants have to agree how high the air will flow. And, unlike simple manual vents, this little guy resets every time you turn off the car.
Okay, that's a lot of vent talk, but as long as we're digging up minutia here, I have to point out that the warning chime in the Panamera is like the saddest in the entire automotive biz. Here, take a listen. It's like a minor key thing. Oh yeah. Yeah, there we are. Here.
In least expensive form, an $86,000 base Panamera comes with front and rear parking sensors, LED headlights, doors that magically stay put in any position, an attention-getting adaptive spoiler, look at that thing deploy, and a 10-speaker audio system with 2 USB inputs. But this is a Porsche, so you're definitely going to ravage the option sheet. One interesting option is Night Vision Assist, that uses a thermal imaging camera to detect and warn the driver of people and large animals on the road, but you'll probably use it to watch raccoons rifling through your trash. Other noteworthy options include soft closed doors, a 360-degree camera system, ventilated seats, 4-zone climate control, rear wheel steering, and electronic driver aids like adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring, road sign recognition,
and lane keep assist, which can help steer the car back into its lane if the driver's not paying attention. Though several times I have been paying attention and the car has seen lane markers that don't exist and tried to steer me into the curb. Also, if you drive over a lane marker, the warning sound is odd. The dog did it.
Depending on your perspective, the Porsche Panamera could be a more exciting alternative to similarly priced luxury sedans like the BMW 7 Series and Audi A8, a serious competitor for so-called four-door coupes like the Audi S7 and Mercedes-Benz CLS, or a more accommodating alternative to sports cars like the Porsche 911.
Either way, the Porsche Panamera is an engaging and indulgent ride. If you want a luxurious sports car the entire family can enjoy and you don't mind its quirks, Panamera could be the answer. And now I'm gonna drive away in the car. End of the video!